witches and witches. It's Retroween! This is the Retro Flora Podcast. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Charmy. And we're just two crazy sisters with an opinion and a channel.
If you like true crime, conspiracies, and supernatural shit, then this is your channel.
So what are we getting into today?
Well, you guys, today we have a true crime case that actually takes place on Halloween.
Ooh. Well, also sad.
Yeah, it is sad, but it's very hard to find cases that
aren't sad.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna not find any cases that are sad, but Halloween cases. All right, so we're just gonna jump right into it.
Honestly, it's actually weird you can't find a lot of Halloween cases because I feel like Halloween's when the freaks come out.
Yeah, well, I guess they're just not out murdering, which is a good thing because we don't need that. We got enough in this world.
That's every other day of the year.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a normal Halloween night in Los Angeles in 1957 with trick-or-treaters and spooky fun. 35-year-old Peter Fabiano opened his door for a late-night trick-or-treater and was met with a bullet to his chest. Peter Fabiano was born 1923. After serving in World War II, Peter met his wife Betty. Betty was a divorcee with 2 kids. The two hit it off and got married in 1955. They lived in Kingston, New York, where Peter worked as a truck driver. And in 1956, the family moved to Los Angeles and opened up 2 beauty salons. On Halloween night, 1957, Peter, Betty, and Judy, Betty's 15-year-old daughter, went to bed after a long day. Around 11 p.m., the doorbell rang. Peter got up and went downstairs, assuming it was a late-night trick-or-treater. When Peter opened the door, he was met by a person wearing a domino mask. And a domino mask is basically like the kind that Robin, Batman's sidekick, wears, like the little like.
Oh, like Captain. What's his name? Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, those are
okay.
domino masks. Yeah, I had to look that up too because I was like a domino mask, and I'm thinking like
Domino's Pizza.
I was thinking like Domino's on the mask. I was like, huh?
Oh yeah.
And wearing men's clothing, blue jeans, khaki jacket, and red gloves, and was holding a paper bag. Peter asked that person, quote, "It's a little late for this, isn't it?" To which the person replied no, and pointed the bag at him and shot him in the chest. Betty rushed downstairs to find Peter on the ground bleeding. Can you imagine like what Peter went through? Like he opened the door, he was probably already annoyed because it's 11 o'clock at night and you over here still ringing my doorbell for some candy, and then he opens the door and he gets shot in the chest. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I would be hot. And I wonder what his last moments were like, thinking like, yo, what the heck? Like probably thinking like, this kid just shot me in the chest for no reason. Judy called the police and Peter was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Police questioned Betty and she told officers she heard 2 voices, one masculine and one that sounded like a man impersonating a woman. Police looked.
So there was 2 people or just one person?
Well, Betty told the police that she heard 2 voices.
And the 2 voices other than her husband?
Yeah, she said one was masculine and then one was what sounded like a man trying to impersonate a woman.
So she saw them?
No, she's only telling officers that she heard 2 voices.
Then how does he know that what the guy was wearing?
That will be told later on in the story. Police looked into Peter's background, but all they found was a misdemeanor charge for bookmaking. So I looked that up because I was like, bookmaking, how is that illegal?
Yeah.
But it's really ties into bets and gambling. So like illegally placing bets and illegally gambling. So that's what the charge was for.
Oh, okay.
Police could not come up with any reason why Peter was targeted. So police began to dig into Peter and Betty's personal life, where they found out that Peter and Betty's marriage was on the rocks because of a complicated relationship Betty had with Joan Rabel, or Rebel. I'm not really sure how to say it. I'm just going to say Rabel, but I don't really know how it's said.
Let me see. Okay, I don't know. I'm going to say Rabel too.
Yeah, Rabel. And she was Betty's close friend, like really close friend. Joan Rabel was a 40-year-old divorcee freelance photographer who Peter hired to work in one of his hair salons. Joan and Betty became very close. Some believe they might have been more than friends.
Lovers?
Yeah, and this is the 1950s, so you gotta keep
a big
that,
no-no.
Yeah, you gotta keep that hush-hush, but that is what it's believed, that Betty and Joan were lovers, which created a rift between Peter and Betty. Police learned that Betty left Peter for a temporary period of time to live with Joan before going back to Peter, in which he told Betty to cut off all contact with Joan. So yeah, I think they were definitely... I think Peter knew, like, yeah, y'all more than just friends. Police picked up Joan and questioned her, but had to release her due to the lack of evidence. With no leads, the case was growing cold. That was until 2 weeks later, police received an anonymous phone call that told them to check out a locker in the department store because it was linked to the murder of Peter. So back then, department stores allowed you to rent out lockers inside of them, so you can have your own personal locker inside of a department store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because at first I was like, why is this in a department store locker? Like, yeah. When police opened the locker, they found a .38 caliber pistol, the same gun that was used to kill Peter. Police found out that the locker was registered to 42-year-old lab assistant Goldine Pizer. Police questioned Goldine on November 12th, where she confessed to killing Peter. I think her name is Goldine. It's spelled like this.
Yeah, I think it's Goldine.
Isn't that such a cool name to have though?
Goldine. Oh, it reminds me of a very old lady.
Well, this is the 1950s, so
like Mabel. Like, I automatically think she's old.
I know.
I'm Mabel. That sounds like a fat old lady's name. I'll take that as a compliment.
But who was Goldie and why did she kill Peter? Goldie Pizer was born in Rockford, Illinois. I said Illinois, you guys, because last time when I said Illinois, y'all jumped down my throat. So Illinois.
What did they say?
They were like, the S is silent. I was like, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. But I'm just... Like, when I read stuff or when I talk, I try to enunciate.
Yeah.
Because I'm told that I talk really fast. So I enunciated and I literally pronounced every syllable in Illinois. And it was like, Illinois. And they were like, stop saying the S in Illinois. You suck. Like, okay, I'm sorry.
First of all, if they're not supposed to be S, take the S out.
You know the English language is so stupid. So she was born in Rockford, Illinois, to German immigrants. In 1940, she moved to LA and worked as a secretary. In October of 1944, Goldine married a pharmacist from the Naval Hospital, but they later divorced. In 1957, Goldine met Joan, and the two became close, like really close.
Like her and
Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they became really close. Joan began to tell Goldine about the Fabianos and how Peter was abusive and controlling to her close friend Betty. And over a 3-month period, Joan convinced Goldine to kill Peter to keep him from continuing to harm Betty. Which, for the record, Peter never harmed Betty. Okay, so this was Joan,
lying.
Yeah.
To get her lover to kill her ex-lover's husband.
Yeah, but I don't even, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much that, yeah. She pretty much was manipulating her. So, yeah. Joan gave Goldine money to buy a gun, and she borrowed her friend's car. On the night of Halloween, Joan and Goldie drove to the Fabianos' home. After all the lights in the house were turned off, Joan told Goldine, all right, go do it. Goldine got out of the car, and as you know, she rang the doorbell and shot Peter. She ran back to the car, and Joan kissed her and whispered thank you before speeding off. The two burned their clothes, and before Joan returned the car, she drove Goldine home and told her, forget you ever knew me.
If I'm Goldine, I'm like, girl, we did this together.
Right, like, girl, we blood sisters now. Like, we done committed a murder together.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, she used her and then was like, yeah, I'm done with you. Thanks for doing what I needed you to do. Bye. I know, like, talk about a crazy love triangle. Like, this is wild. The next morning, Goldine realized Joan never disposed of the gun, so she put it in her department store locker.
She might as well do that in the lake.
She might as well just hand it to the police at this point.
Yeah.
Joan and Goldine were arrested and charged with first-degree murder. During the trial, Goldine showed remorse and was often crying, while Joan showed no remorse and would even smile occasionally. Goldine stated that she was manipulated by Joan into killing Peter. When asked what her motives was, she said to please Joan. And so I read that a psychiatrist listened to his case, and I'm not sure if somebody analyzed her because it didn't really say if that was her psychologist or psychiatrist, but they basically were saying that Goldine was like an easy person to manipulate, like that was her personality type.
Oh.
Yeah. The two women's charges were later reduced to second-degree murder when they both agreed to plead guilty.
Honestly, that should be first-degree murder.
Well, they dropped the charges. They dropped the charges lower when they agreed to plead guilty.
Bitch, you going to jail. There's evidence, even if you didn't take the plea deal.
Yeah,
like, you get first degree. That's my point.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't just go to trial, because I'm pretty sure a jury would have found them, like, guilty. Yeah, especially in 1950s with women being, like, in relationships, it would have definitely been they were guilty. The judge sentenced them both to 5 years to life in prison. Now,
5 years to life?
yeah, I don't know why it's not just life, it's 5 years to life. But if you thought that made you mad, you're really gonna be mad. It was unclear how much time they served, but they were both eventually released from prison.
What's the to life part then?
I don't know. I saw that and I was like, what? Maybe they just served the 5 years then. I don't know why they didn't serve life. I don't know if it's because they were women. I don't know, like...
I need to talk to the jury and the lawyers and the judge. Like, why y'all giving them this?
I know, like, I feel like that's so unfair. You literally shot a man in cold blood for no reason, because he literally did nothing, and y'all didn't even serve life.
No.
Goldine died in 1998 in LA at the age of 83. No one knows what happened to Joan after she was released. And Betty sold her salons and got remarried in 1966. She died in 1999 at 81.
She died the year our sister was born.
Yeah, I know. But I can't help but wonder if Betty was in on it. And only reason I wonder if she was in on it is because what she told the police about two men. Yeah, you know, that's why I'm sitting here like, was she in on it? Well, and how did they know that Betty wasn't going to be the one who opened the door?
Yeah. But I feel like they knew he was going for the door. It's late at night. It's 1950s. The man gonna come up and save this woman. I think they automatically knew the man gonna like come up. Mm-hmm. But what doesn't make sense is that Betty said there's two people at the door, and that one was trying to be masculine, and the other one was feminine. But it was only one person at the door, because that's what the killers said. Yeah. That only one of them went up. So yeah, I'm like, where'd the second voice come from?
Yeah, that's what that just kind of, I don't know. It made me think, like, was Betty in on it?
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, if she never came out the car, then shouldn't be two voices.
Right.
Unless she mistook her husband's voice for another voice she didn't recognize, but that's just weird.
That is weird, because you're married to this man. Like, you
would know their voice.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you think about this case?
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I don't know, man.
They should have got a longer time, too.
They really should, because the fact that they only served... We don't even know how much time they served.
They probably served, like, 2 or 3 years.
Probably. And an innocent man was killed because another woman was obsessed with his wife. Like, maybe Goldine shouldn't have spent life in prison.
Yeah.
But Joan definitely knew what she was doing, and she's like, what's his name? Charles Manson. She's just like, yeah,
orchestrating it.
Yeah, y'all go over there and go murder them while I sit back and chill. But you know what I mean? He definitely was
involved.
Yeah, the mastermind of it, and he definitely was arrested as well. So yeah, that's the case of Peter Fabiano.
It's so sad.
It really is, because this did not need to happen. Like, you could have just took Betty. Like, obviously Betty chose Peter over you anyway, because she had the opportunity to like not go back to him. She went back to him, and he told her to cut you off, and she did. Well, you've made it to the end.
You must really like the sounds of our high-pitched voices and quirky commentary.
You might as well like and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell to be notified every time we drop new content. If you want to follow our social medias, they will be linked in the description box below.
Bye!
Bye! Stay spooky! Woo! Retroween!